dragons weren't the only mad thing about this ship. There was a weird thing with a wing sprouting out of the side that hysteric called Red Ronald told them was Norbert's attempt at a flying machine. Unfortunately, it didn't really work yet. Several times during the day, Norbert ordered 3 unfortunate members of his crew to try it out, hauling the machine all the way up to the top of his mast on ropes and then launching it from the crow's nest. It only stayed up in the sky for a couple of minutes before crashing spectacularly into the ocean. And the crew members had to be rescued and the machine mended again. And then there was this oh, look, this is the flying machine. That's the flying machine. I happen to know that that is very similar to the flying machine that Leonardo da Vinci, the drawings that Leonardo da Vinci drew. So I don't know. Wow, that is that. But this one, definitely, can you see that one? That one I'm not so sure about. It's like a sort of, it's like one of those kind of things that James Bond has, you know, with like a little helicopter. I'm not sure that they're ready for that one. But the Leonardo da Vinci one, I think that could work. It looks a bit like a windsurfer. And then there was this extraordinary machine with a wheel that the crews took in turns to pedal with their feet, which was attached to a large trumpet-like funnel. It was very difficult to work out what the purpose of this machine was. At the moment, it was Ferociously Violet's turn on the machine because his arm was still recovering from the gash he had received from the Axe of Doom incident. So he wasn't much good at pulling on ropes and other tasks around the boat at the moment. Edgar was so curious about what the machine did that he approached Ferociously to ask what he was doing. "Oh, this is the keep the boat from sinking and scare away the big sea creatures machine." "Okay," it's exclaimed Ferociously Violent, stopping pedalling for a second to answer Hiccup's question. "It stops the boat from sinking and it also scares away the sea monsters, Great Terror Wing, Sea Dragon, Gigantus Maximus, that sort of thing." "Keep pedalling, keep pedalling!" screamed Norbert the Nutjoe. His genius is a little bit sort of, sometimes it's a bit silly, it seems. Other times, you know, it's genius, screamed Norbert the Nutjoe, marching up, and the hysteric hurriedly resumed so fast his feet were a blur. "And you," Norbert turned to Hiccup, "stop distracting the crew. If this man's here stops turning this wheel for even 1 second, the boat will sink, and we could be attacked by one of the ocean dragon mammoths." "Fascinating," said Hiccup very politely, thinking, "nutty as an absolute fruitcake." "Is there any chance," gulped Fishlegs hopefully as they walked away, "that thing could work?" "Yeah, right," replied Hiccup, "like a revolving tube with a funnel attached. He's really going to stop a boat from sinking?" At the end of the first day, that's the keep the boat from sinking and scare away the big sea creatures machine. At the end of the first day of the quest to discover America, the sun sank in a glorious technicolor display of pink and gold streaked with red. The 3 young Vikings sat and worried and worried and worried. Actually, 2 of them worried. Kamikaze just played was toothless. They worried until it was late at night and the hysterics had built a fire on deck and were singing songs to the rising moon. Oh, I like their songs. The songs were about the life of a Viking. You have to imagine Norbert the Nutjoe adding the hose while banging his axe on the bottom of an iron bucket. So there they all are, singing by the light of the moon. Can you see Hiccup and Kamikaze and everybody? And then there's Norbert the Nutjoe singing. There's the fire. And there's the moon. "We could be safe at hearth and home, around or far with loved ones near. Instead we brave the cold, dark wave, the salty kiss of a hero's grave. Looking for a land we saw long ago, once before, long ago. Ho!" Norbert the Nutjoe was sitting, a twisted shadow, watching the singers, his cabin shrouded close around him. Only his eyes gleamed in the firelight as he watched and smoked from a long, thin pipe that sent a crooked plume of smoke up into the sail, billowing above him and on into the night sky. "We could take the easy way, stay at home with loved ones dear. But here we are on rocking waves, sails spread out like dragons' wings, lost out in a hurricane, looking for a land we saw once before, long ago. Ho!" As the hysterics sang on in the warm night, Hiccup's eyes began to close. But they opened again with a start when the deck beneath Hiccup's feet began to vibrate with a new noise. Strange voices were beginning their own song, weird voices singing in a language that Hiccup did not understand. The sound of something so other and unfamiliar that they were as alien as the music of whales or dolphin calling to each other. Voices coming from deep within the belly of the ship. "What is that?" whispered Fishlegs to Hiccup with round, scared eyes. Hiccup's heart plummeted. He suddenly realised what it might be. "I wonder wonder, replied Hiccup slowly, if this ship is carrying slaves on it. The hysterics stopped to listen too, and as they listened, the songs changed to something much more sinister. A shiver went slipping down Hiccup's spine like a cold drop of water. You did not have to understand the language the slaves were speaking to understand what they were saying. Toothless let out a whine of fear as if he were a spaniel and covered his ears with his paws. They were laying a curse on the ship, a curse on the voyage, a curse on every single Viking man, woman or child who was keeping them there under those decks. The hair stood up, quite right too. The hair stood up on the back of Hiccup's neck. No wonder they were cursing. They went right on singing that fierce, terrible curse until Norbert strode to the centre of the deck and struck it with his axe 3 times. He shouted, "Shut up, or I'll come down there and drown the lot of you." And then it was quiet again. Hiccup lay in the darkness, his heart beating quick. Oh, how he longed to be home. It was very late when he fell asleep again, the hysterics still singing, "Glory comes not to the weak, a treasure land shines out so strong. We see it clear from far away, a great and brave and mighty Thor. I hope that was land I saw once before, long ago. Ho!" The ship sailed on through the moonlit night. Apart from 4 crewmen, one staying in the boat, one looking after the steam dragon, one keeping lookout, and one laboriously turning Norbert's mad, monster-scaring machine, all the human beings aboard the American Dream 2 had fallen asleep now. Hystericans, hooligans, hens and crows, all. What none of those little sleeping human beings knew was how tiny they were compared to the vastness of the world they were about to enter. Nothing seemed to have changed on the quiet and peaceful surface of the water. In fact, they had moved out of the safe, shallow seas of the archipelago. They had crossed an invisible line in the ocean, and they were now sailing over very deep waters indeed. Waters fathoms and fathoms deep, a sunless, black and watery desert. But could it be that something was about to stir down in the darkness? The unimaginable enormity of the open ocean holds such strange and terrible things that we cannot even dream of. If you were a fanciful person, you could imagine that something dreadful was about to happen. Some dragon giant of the abyss, sleeping or coiled up like an unwoken tornado, was about to gain consciousness and would move inexorably on the little ship, puffing its way across the water. But we are not fanciful people, so we know that cannot be true. We'll have the next chapter.